We've talked several times in this conversation about Real Life Wednesdays. I watched the enthusiasm with which you talked about it in our meeting before we got on camera here. Tell me about the idea of how it developed and what do you do during these Real Life Wednesdays?
Well, first of the name, we take football time. You're only allowed 8 hours per week to spend with your players in the off season. So I started in Florida, and it was after the national championship year in 2008, and we felt like when I was a young person, when you graduated from college, there was usually a job waiting for you. Those times have changed. There's not the jobs. I've had plenty of people graduate from school and can't find. We're trying to help them find work, and the 2.0 or 2.2 GPA guy in a very general major, he's not hireable. And so you got these big, powerful institutions that perform in front of. We played the national championship game in front of 63 million people against Oklahoma when I was in Florida. And I would start thinking, what is this university doing for, and what am I doing for this? They do all the work. We get paid very well. Universities are building new buildings, and here's a 19, 20-year-old kid that puts his body in harm's way and performs at a high level for this university. What does the university give back to him? And there was a time where a degree was good enough. Okay, great, I get a degree, you get my services for 4 years. That's an injustice, that's not good. And I really experienced it when my daughter was being recruited. At Georgia Tech, I would go around with her visits, not just Georgia Tech, but I went to some other visits, and I would hear the most nonsense, I mean, it was crazy what they were. And finally, I would stop people and say, it's not your job to get a degree. I'm her dad. She is going to get it. She'll go anywhere and get a degree. What are you going to do to help her career? Georgia Tech's a very powerful institution. Ohio State, I think it's the most powerful institution in America. What are we going to do to help this person be prepared for when the cheering stops, when people quit telling you how good you are, when all of a sudden, the scholarship check's gone, and maybe you're not on an NFL team, what's going to happen? And so, we start every year in February. It's over the top now. And we start with the basics, we call it the foundation. We teach them how to interview, teach them what to wear for an interview. We buy them an iPad. We teach them how to get on LinkedIn, corporate responsibility, little things like insurance. They get a credit score, and how to balance a checkbook. All the fundamentals of just fiscal responsibility, which there's a reason why this country is in very difficult situations. We don't have fiscal responsibility as a country. How do we expect our 18, 19-year-olds unless we teach them? So I have actual experts come in and teach them all the just foundation of fiscal responsibility. And then we'll do a survey, and I do it every year, and it's almost the same. What are kids interested in for a career? 80% of them are business. 85% of them don't understand what business is. Right. So was an entrepreneur, whether it's sales, whether it's being an agent, whatever the business, your marketing, whatever your specialty is, we open these doors for them and have people come in and talk about their career paths, what it's like to go to work every day. And then we force them to go out and shadow people. And that's when they come back and might say, that sucked, I don't want to do that. And we'll do it again, we'll help you out, we'll drive you there, we buy you a suit, we'll send you, if you want to be, I'm interested in sales, go take them out to a car dealership, see if you want in sales or not. People want to be in law enforcement. We do driver ride-arounds with police officers. And most of the time, fortunately, they come back and they love it. And then after your junior or after your sophomore year, going into your junior year, we get you an internship. And we do not have the luxury of a 16 to 18 week, because they don't have 16 to 18 weeks. That's a typical internship. So we do sometimes it's 1 week, sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 3 week. And it's an internship that these companies work with us. And it's very easy in Columbus, Ohio, because some of the more rural schools, corporate America is hours away. Turn right on High Street and corporate America is a mile away from our campus. And so we'll have over 150 companies show up at the job fair we have at the culmination of Real Life Wednesdays. We had there, when we first got there, were 0 internships by our football team. We had 28 this year. And now we're seeing the rewards. Our players are getting hired by these companies at very significant jobs. Because who does not want to hire someone who can perform in front of 20 million people, solve problems, lead, and play in a selfless sport like such as football?
That's awesome.
It fires me up.
And so in the interim, you created these Real Life Wednesdays where you bring in business leaders and others to talk to your players.
I've had Jamie Dimon, I've had Dan Gilbert, we've had Roger Goodell come in, and then we also do a little bit more grassroots where we'll have a Dennis Mogg, a guy from JP Morgan Chase, comes in and he's a great speaker. Every player on our team has a credit score now. Every player understands LinkedIn. every player understands how corporate America works. I never had that. I didn't understand. I still don't understand it. But it's our obligation to get them. That's why we call it real life, because someday the cheering will stop. Are you ready when it stops?
Here's a challenge. Who are you bringing with you on this journey of growth? Is there someone you need to invite on this 7-day journey with you? I want to encourage you to share this series with them. Feel free to share what you're learning and apply it with others. That's really how we see the compounding effect of our growth individually when we share it with others. Can't wait to see you right back here for day 5 of our 7-day journey.